Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kurt Steven Y. Puerto. I'm the next reporter after Nito Nyakaw. So, number 15, secondary evidence. Requisites for the introduction of the secondary evidence in case of loss, destruction, or unavailability of the original. So, first requisites is the offeror must prove the existence and the execution of the original document. So, first, let me explain what is the offeror. Ang offeror mo na siya ang plaintiff or the one who presents or offer evidence in court. So, the first requisite means it must first prove that the document really existed and it was properly made or signed. So, aron mas masabtan, example, a person claims there was a signed contract of sale. Para ma-prove ni siya, they can present a witness na nakakita sa pagpirma sa kato na document or mag-show og other records proving na kana na contract is really existed. Number 2, requisites is the offeror must show the cause of its unavailability, such as the loss or destruction of the original. So, ang offeror daw must explain kung ano ang original dili pwede ma-produce or ma-present dito sa court, such as the loss or destruction, like nawagtang or kanang destruction like nasunog or naapil sa baha. So, number 3, the offeror must show that the availability was not due to his bad faith. So, in these requisites, absence of bad faith, meaning you must prove na kana na document dili intentional na imong giwagtang, imong gisunog or ipaanod sa baha or imong gitaguan. So, after and if na-satisfied na or ma-approve na sa court na pwede na ka makagamit og secondary evidence, imo siyang ma-prove ang contents ana through first copy of sa document. If walay copy, pwede recital in isa authentic document, or if wala dyan na duwa, testimony sa witnesses na nakakita sa sulod sa ana na content. So, number 16, requisites for the introduction of secondary evidence when the original is in the custody or control of the adverse party or cannot be obtained by local judicial process or procedures. So, adverse party muna siya ang opposing party or defendant. So, let's proceed. First, that the original exists. So, sabotable kayong first na requisites. Let's proceed to number 2. Number 2, that the said document is under the custody or control of the adverse party. So, number 2, it must be shown na kana na original is naa sa opposing party or someone under their control. So, next, requisites. That the proponent of secondary evidence has given the adverse party reasonable notice to produce the original document. So, before secondary evidence can be admitted, the party must give the adverse party a reasonable notice or mag-file sila o motion for production or inspection or sub buena ducisticum. So, number 4, that the adverse party failed to produce the original document despite the reasonable notice. If, after being notified, the adverse party or the opposing party or the defendant still fails or refuses to produce the original then ang court may allow the secondary evidence or ang adverse party kay makontempt siya sa court. Number 17, let's proceed to the next number. Requisites for the introduction of secondary evidence when the original consists of numerous accounts. So, number 1, first requisite, the original consists of numerous accounts or other documents. So meaning, the rule applies when the original evidence is made up of many separate records, accounts, or documents. So example, ang usang kumpanya or a company accounting books covering 10 years of daily transaction. So, umuproduce ka na each individual's entry ang sa korte, it would be impractical kay daghan kayo kanang i-produce nimo tagsaon jud nimo 10 years good na kanang kuan daily transaction. So, dili siya pwede. Number 2, such accounts or documents cannot be examined in court without great loss of time. So, number 2, if magpresent ka o if presenting and examining each document individually, it would consume excessive time and effort. So, the court allows secondary evidence to avoid inefficiency. So, in example, sa tax case, the government wants to prove the total sales of a business. So, examining thousands of receipts one by one would take months, so the court allows a summary. So, kung imong i-examine ng thousands of receipt, it would take months. Dugay kayo. So, moto ang kanina rule, nag-allow siya og summary na pwede ka mo present of evidence na in a form of chart, summary, or calculation. So, number 3, the fact sought to be established from them is only the general result of the whole. So, number 3, it means ang purpose sa presenting the evidence is not to prove each individual entry, but to establish the overall result or conclusion derived from all the document. The contents such document may be in a form of chart, summary, or calculation. Motong gingon ganyan na pwede siya mo pass o document na in a form of chart, summary, or calculation. So, the original must be available for examination or copying at reasonable time and place. So, the court may order that they can be produced in court. Next, number 18, requisites for the introduction of secondary evidence when the original document is a public record. First, requisites when the original of a document is in the custody of a public officer or is recorded in a public office. So, number 1, meaning the document is officially maintained or kept by a governing office. Example, kanang birth certificate na gikeep sa Philippine Statistics Authority. Number 2, or is recorded in a public office. So, the document has been officially entered into public records, like recorded na siya sa kanang mga recorded siya sa kanang registry of deed pa, kanang land title recorded sa registry of deed. Number 2, its content may prove by a certified copy issued the public officer in custody thereof. So, instead of presenting the original, the party present a certified true copy issued by the lawful custodian. So, instead ang present ka o kanang original, ang party daw present og certified true copy issued sa lawful custodians. So mo to siya. Let's proceed to number 19, which is the effect of not offering a document in evidence after calling for its production and inspection. So, section 9, party who calls for document not bound to offer it. A party who calls for the production of a document and inspect the same is not obliged to offer it as evidence. So, example a party may ask the court to order the other side to produce a document and then inspect it. So ang party mo request mo file sila katong sa buena duces tikom, then after inspection that party is not required to present the document as evidence kay ang rule stated that the party can decide whether the document helps or hurt their case. Pwede nila i-drop, then i-drop ang kato na document na ilang inspect nya mo-rely sila sa other proof. So ang effect ani kay, this is because under this rule, a party who calls for production of a document is not required or obliged to offer it as evidence as this provision stated or rule. Dili sila pwede sila makadesisyon or whether the kana na document anang helps or hurt their case. Pwede nila kanang i-drop ang kana na document, di sila obliged na gamito na as evidence. So let's proceed to the last number of my report, number 20, which is the parole evidence rule 130, contracts and the parole evidence rule. So first, parole evidence rule applies only to contracts which the parties have decided to set forth in writing. So section 10, evidence of writing agreement. When the term of an agreement have been reduced to writing, it is considered as containing all the terms agreed upon, and there can be, as between the parties and their successors in interest, no evidence of such term other than the contents of the written agreement. So when the term of an agreement are reduced to writing, the written document is presumed to contain all the terms agreed upon. So therefore, no other evidence is allowed to change, add, or contradict what is written. So this rule applies only between the party involved and their successors in interest, like ilang mga gipang-assign or kanang gipamana sa ilang mga anak paron or unsa na dira. So ang purpose aning parole evidence rule is to prevent kanang mga false claim about alleged verbal agreements. It can also protect the integrity of written contracts, avoids confusion and dispute. It also ensures certainty and stability in agreements. So example, A will sell a motorcycle to B for 80,000 pesos. Later, B claims there was a verbal agreement that the price is 70%. So under the parole evidence rule, this claims is not allowed because it is not written in the contract. So in general rule, ang court kay only considered kanang written contract or written price, which is moto lang isabot na 80,000 pesos. So let's move on to the exemption. So a party may present evidence to modify, explain, or add to the terms of the written agreement if he or she is puts an issue in a verified pleading. So first requisites an intrinsic ambiguity, mistake, or imperfection in the written agreement. So ang pasabot aning first requisite kay kung ang usa ka document is kanang exempted siya, exemption, one of the exception kay kanang dili siya klaro, nang contain siya mga errors or kanang dili siya kompleto. So example, delivery will be made next Monday. So ang gibutang sa kontrata, delivery will be made next Monday. So dili siya klaro, di ba? Wala gi state kung unsa na date, unsa na month, basig Monday sa kanang April, Monday sa March, na dili klaro ang iyang statement. So the court will allow outside evidence like conversation or messages para maka-explain or maka-clarify unsay meaning ana na contract. Explain ba para ma-explain ang tarong. So number 2, the failure of the written agreement to express the true intent and agreement of the party thereto. So mahitabo rin ni siya kung ang written contract does not reflect sa real agreement. So ang gisuwat daw sa kontrata dili makatugma sa tinuod na agreement yung duha. So number 3, the validity of the written agreement. So this applies when someone claims the contract is not valid. So example, si Juan na sign o contract selling his land pero he was forced and threatened. So later he claims he was forced and threatened to sign this. So to sign the contract na isell ang iyang yuta. So moto ang main issue diri na example kay ang iyang validity, kung ang kontrata ba is really voluntary. So Juan can present evidence, mga witnesses or messages or etc. to prove intimidation or coercion even if it is not written in the contract. So number 4, last requisites of this of the of this exemption, the existence of other terms agreed to by the parties of their successors in interest after the execution of the written agreement. So kani mo apply siya when there are new agreements made after signing the contract. So example, a written contract gibutang dito na payment must be on March 1. Then ang both parties na nipirma. So nipirma na sila. So after signing, ang both parties verbally agreed na ang payment can be extended siya ating butang March 15. So ang korte mo allow og evidence. So the court can allow evidence of this new agreement even if it is not written. Prepare siya sa exemption number 3. So last kay the term agreement includes will. So moro to ang akong reporting. Thank you.